CEO of Letterdrop. You're going to love this presentation. Let's welcome Parthi.
Awesome. Hey, everyone. I know it's at the end of the day, but hope you're excited to talk a little bit about how you're going to stand out with all of this noise that's also going to be inevitably created from AI and how go-to-market is evolving. And so for some background, I'm Parthi. I'm the founder and CEO of Letterdrop. We're a Y Combinator-backed company, and I was formerly a product manager on the Google Search and Workspaces team. And what we do at Letterdrop is we help B2B companies create, distribute, and analyze useful content so you can build qualified pipeline. We help over 100 companies, help them think through their go-to-market motion and help them figure out how to build organic pipeline. And I'm going to talk a little bit about us today and a little bit about how our product works and show you some demos. But I want to take a step back and actually talk about that. And I'll put Letterdrop in the context of that broader picture. So every go-to-market team is adapting to AI right now. There were 47 AI demos today, in fact. And so you have to wonder, what does this mean for your customers? What are they going to see? They're overwhelmed with more and more content, more emails, more stuff in their feed, more pages out there. And you need to stand out from all this noise. And I think when people don't use AI intelligently, what happens is you end up with that deep, authentic human connection through all of this AI noise. And I think AI is still a tool for companies to use to figure out how to be more efficient, but you have to use it intelligently. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So things you shouldn't be doing with AI is spinning up thousands of pages on your website to drive traffic. That's happened. People have done it, immediately got banned by spam brain at Google, went back to zero. Trying to build authentic relationships with people on LinkedIn. This is a comment I got from somebody which just parroted back my LinkedIn post to me. Immediately disconnected, blocked, please don't talk to me again. You don't want to be doing this. I actually tried to see if I could actually get this talk to be done by AI. It didn't work out. And so here I am, and I spent the entirety of yesterday making this presentation. We'll get there one day, but we're not quite there yet. And so I want to actually talk about how do you actually use AI in marketing. And this is where I'm going to talk a little bit about our product and give you a couple of examples from Letterdrop, but we'll keep it high level. So my premise for where AI is right now and what you can do with it boils down to the 3 R's. Essentially, you can use Letterdrop AI for research, repurposing, and recommendations. Let's start with research. AI is very good at processing a lot of information. It can read pages and pages of information, consume hours of content, and extract insights for you. So this just saves you man-hours. I'll show you an example of how we use AI to do research at Letterdrop. So for example, what you can do with Letterdrop is use AI to essentially evaluate and understand all the pages ranking on Google for a specific term and actually break it down into the target components, essentially, and tell you what are you covering, what are you not covering, so you can identify information gaps. This is going to actually help you rank higher on Google by creating more complete content. This is a process which normally takes hours and hours for SEO writers, which we bring down into tens of minutes of research, essentially. We can also fill in those gaps for you as well. So this is a great example of how you can use AI to essentially, AI, and we use it at Letterdrop, is to actually pull out data from your sales calls. So we can pull out things like problem statements, pain points, objections from your sales calls, and essentially boil them down and say something along the lines of 14 customers asked 22 questions around this topic, and actually use those insights from your sales calls, use the answers from your AEs to generate sales enablement content for you, and also generate FAQs, programmatic SEO, basically questions that your customers are asking your sales reps, we can pull out for you, generate the assets, and put it in front of the right people. This is work that just normally doesn't get done otherwise. The second way in which you can use AI, and the way we use it at Letterdrop, is repurposing. How do you take something from one format to the other? Once again, we're not using AI to think for us. We're using AI to essentially move from one data source to the other. In the first case, it was summarization. Now it's essentially format. And so with Letterdrop, what we essentially do is we can take any sort of asset, long-form asset, where you've actually done the thinking. Think a blog post, webinar, podcast, interview. Train it on your own style and what you sound like, and generate social media posts for you in seconds, which actually sound human-like. So for example, over here, we have a YouTube video, a testimonial from our own BDR, talking about how he uses LinkedIn to do social selling and how that works for him in terms of him hitting his quota. And so what we do is we can actually take that video over here, and you can see all these videos that we've saved in Letterdrop, and we can pick that video. We can pull out any of our templates, and we want to decide whether we want to pull out the wow moments, questions asked, turn into a blog post in this case, and then immediately also turn that into multiple LinkedIn posts by generating a campaign. So let's say we want to generate 2 LinkedIn posts for this account, and we have samples of what Ryan sounds like, and immediately we get very human sounding LinkedIn posts that we can now maximize distribution for. We can automate the engagement, we can automate the comments, and essentially get your entire team social selling using one source piece of content. And the end result looks pretty human. We drive 64% of our own inbound pipeline as a B2B company selling SaaS from LinkedIn. And people ask us, like, how big is the Letterdrop marketing team? I see you guys surrounding us on LinkedIn. And the reality is we have one person essentially manning the LinkedIn accounts for our entire company, repurposing great content we've already produced, and putting it up on LinkedIn in the voice of our salespeople, or myself, or other folks at our company on our go-to-market team. And our customers agree as well. Here's Ryan from a company called Eppo, and he started using Letterdrop and talks about how human sounding it sounds given a great input and great training data. And so these are intelligent ways for you to use AI to actually repurpose content but not necessarily think. The last use case I talk about is recommendations. So AI can identify patterns in data and surface the right information when you need it. So let's look at that in a sales and marketing context. One thing we do at Letterdrop is we help salespeople actually understand what are the right pieces of sales enablement content that they should be using when they're talking to a prospect. So if I get off of a demo call, Letterdrop will immediately email me a summary saying like, hey, the customer asked you these questions. Here are the assets that you can share with them in your follow-up email that's going to move this conversation forward and actually shorten your sales cycle. We can do things like crawl your website and understand which pages need to be linking to each other so that you can actually drive website traffic to high conversion pages. And finally, we can actually understand what content across LinkedIn, across your website, is actually driving revenue. Understand what that means in terms of what kinds of accounts are engaging with your content, what they might care about, and use that to inform further outreach, further advertising, and further content that you produce. And so what we're really building towards is a system where AI is passively helping you with your go-to-market so that you can educate your customers. So I showed you a bunch of features in Letterdrop, but as I promised, I want to really talk about the big picture here. So how does all this come together? I think people should stop thinking about how they should use AI and more so think about like what are the jobs to be done in go-to-market in marketing and have AI fit in naturally over there. And so you want to think about the marketers of the future as conductors of an orchestra. You should expect your AI systems to essentially follow your best practices, figure out what's working, what's not working, what's driving revenue, and then essentially abstract away all of the technical complications for you. You as a marketer are making high-level decisions, adding the human touch and solutions and systems I should use, and start thinking about systems when it comes to go-to-market. I'm going to tell you why this is very important. So most companies, this is how they sell. You have an SDR, you have a BDR. Let's throw them in Apollo, let's throw them in Outreach, a bunch of emails, and we're going to send 1,000 people emails every single day until a small percentage of them actually convert and want to talk to us. You're essentially just burning through a very large email list, very inefficient, very expensive. And so companies start doing advertising, marketing on top of that, a combination of paid, a combination of organic marketing. Paid has seen a massive drawback in the past couple of years as the environment's changed. Organic is the one defensible channel that you have where you can educate your customers, tell your story, help people actually understand how you're going to drive value. And this happens both on the demand generation side, on social sponsorships, newsletters, as well as the demand capture side on your website through paid search, through SEO. And once you actually start creating content, what you can actually do is combine sales and marketing and get that content to go back to your sales team. The examples I showed you earlier, how do you social sell with LinkedIn? How do you use content for the sales team to actually move deals forward, essentially? And so the third layer to this is actually adding intent data. How do you actually figure out who's engaging with your content? And how do you use that to improve your conversion rate on BDR outreach? How do you use that to invest more in content that's actually driving revenue? And how do you use that to cut back on wasted ad spend and focus on people who are in market, already engaging with your content? And so what you'll notice is happening here in this new go-to-market motion is we're not actually doing more. The point of AI is not to do more. The point of AI is actually to figure out how to do less on the manual, time-consuming stuff, to focus on your in-market buyers, and essentially create a flywheel where you're producing stuff, you're listening, and then you're actually moving back and iterating on that. And so once you build this go-to-market flywheel and you use AI intelligently in different parts of it, you will actually have a very scalable go-to-market motion. You're no longer going to be using AI to just create more and create more noise, but actually use AI to focus in on who actually wants to buy from you. And so the new go-to-market is really about thinking about the marriage of sales and marketing and using AI intelligently. More outbound, all of that's going to be drowned out by this noise that we're creating. And so inbound is really the future of revenue. I'll leave you with this. Everyone has AI. There's a lot of AI tools out there. And when everyone has AI, it's kind of like no one has AI. So remember to stay human. Remember what actually sells. People want to buy from people. If you want to talk to me, feel free to send me an email at parthi@letterdrop.com. You can also visit our website and check out some demos. I'm very loud and annoying on LinkedIn. Give me a follow. That's my LinkedIn over there, or you can just search for Parthi Letterdrop and you're bound to find me. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a good evening.